love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home.
I'm drank up and I'm banked up and I'm faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it. I'm drank up and I'm danked up and I'm faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it, you elevate it.
I came over, I ain't sober, I'm still drunk, that's hangover. Might run it back when this page over. You the best thing, I done slaved over. Gon' arch you back and been way over. It's overdue for that understressing. Over him, now you underdressing. Call me up and I come finessing. Like, ooh, we shot it, what it do, what it don't. Baby, you a queen, you can move how you want. You was rocking with me when I couldn't stay afloat. They ain't never saying nothing wavy to a boat. Like, eyes up, look at me, now I'm the captain. Brought the camera, time for action. Split the legs just like a fraction. Tuck the napkin, time for snacking. You a mother meal. Tell me that it's mine, baby, tell me that it's real. Hit it to the Maxwell, tell me how it feel. It's gonna be a minute cause I'm in it for the thrill. Make her feel like heaven, she gon' put me in the wheel. And willingly I wanna do anything she wanna do. I ain't even wanna boo, but this is what the karma do. It's hard to be apart from you cause ooh, I
love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that thing so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home.
I'm drank up and I'm danked up and I'm faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it. I'm drank up and I'm danked up and I'm faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it, you elevate it, you.
I'm tongue-tied, twisted around your finger like a piece of string. I'm winded, chasing after your ghost is real exhausting. I'm in love, but I don't think it's what I thought it was supposed to be. Love story, no guts and no glory. How did I get so dizzy thinking of you? I don't usually get like this. It's something about you I miss. Could it be we never had that kiss? Well, I don't usually get like this. 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 Reminded of how I met you, tried to catch you falling. Instead I fell off myself and I just can't stop falling. These wings are gonna flap for me if I keep waiting. Keep waiting, keep waiting, keep waiting, keep waiting. How did I get so dizzy thinking of you? I don't usually get like this. I don't get like it's something about you I miss. Could it be we never had that kiss? I just wanna kiss you. Well, I don't usually get like this. Get like this. Get like this. No. Loves me not. This bouquet is all I got. I'm dreaming, or could it be a future for you and me? She loves me, I know it's true. Or maybe I'm the fool for you. I don't usually get like this. It's something about you I miss. Could it be we never had that kiss? Yeah, I don't usually get like this. Get like this. Oh, get like this. No, get like this.
Feel like falling deeper. Colder nights 난 너무 싫어. 기다리기에는 너무 길어. 줬던 내 사랑이 식어. 기대만 하는 것도 난 힘들어. No, I can't, just can't. 가져 내 맘을, 놔줘 내 가슴을 다 바쳐 사랑하기엔 내 자신이 너무 걱정돼. 바보 같은 생각이야. 알아 멍청해. 상상만으로도 좋은 상상만으로도 힘든 이중적인 면을 가지고 있어. 사랑이라는 거. Oh yeah. Baby, can't you come with me? Can't you hold my hand and leave? 근데 있잖아, 너라면 다를까 생각이 들어. 가는 방향이 어딘지 서로 궁금해져 버려 애써 마음 졸여 하늘만 보면서 언제쯤 알게 될까 너도 나와 같은 생각을 하고 있을까 한참을 멍하니 보다 보니 살짝 어두워진 색깔 불그스름한 노을의 때깔 상상만으로도 좋은 상상만으로도 힘든 이중적인 면을 가지
You broke my heart a million times. Can't count the times I made you cry. Oh, it's such a mess now, and we're burning out. I get so sad at the thought of losing you. I'm losing you. I can't bear the thought of losing you. I'm losing you. You're still perfect as the day goes by. Even the worst ones hate, they
Mic check.
make me smile. I stop the world if it would give us time, yeah, to work things out, to work things out.
All right, let's go, y'all.
To work things out, to work things out, baby. To work things out, to work things out. Oh, yeah. To work things out, to work things out.
Here we go.
Can we be honest?
Can we be
You're
honest?
my comfort zone.
My comfort soul.
Whatever I say, don't let me go. I know you're angry, babe, and I am cold. I get so sad at the thought of losing you. I'm losing you. I can't bear the thought of losing you.
Cameras 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm losing you. You're still perfect
evening.
as the day goes by. Even the worst ones hate, they make me smile. I stop the world if it would give us time, yeah, to work things out, to work things out. To work things out, to work things out, baby. To work things out, to work things out. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Kim.
To work things out,
You reading that night, Kim.
to work things out, to work things out.
Hey, LaRonda.
Things out, to
How are
work
you?
things out. To work things out, to work things
Last
out.
chapter.
To work things out, to work
Last
things
chapter.
out.
Good evening. Normally we say good morning, even though it sometimes is the afternoon, because we normally start this on at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is what, 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock on the East. So 10 o'clock morning time on the West Coast, afternoon on the East. But today it's good evening. Getting ready to get started. Had to get situated, had to have my house completely cleaned today. My whole house, the zen, the aura in my home is wonderful right now. Only thing I'm missing is a good candle. I need a good candle. I burned up all my old candles and I need a really good scent to just burn in my house. If I had that right now, oh man, this house would be so perfect. The vibe in my home would be perfect for me. I just need a nice masculine scented candle burning right here in my house right now. Makes me want to just run up and go to Target as soon as we're done. Go grab something just to have something temporarily, right? Appreciate you guys being here. We are on another chapter of Rich People Read, where we read a book a month to instruct you in the ways of the successful through the power of reading. What Rich People Read is a live book club where I read to you guys live Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time in the morning on this channel, a book about relationships or entrepreneurship. We flip-flop between the months, and this month we're reading the Book of Obsidian, the ladies edition, and this is the very last chapter. We already read the Book of Obsidian, a guide for the 21st century Black American gentleman. We read that book in January, but now we're knocking out the ladies edition. You know, the Book of Obsidian has the black version and the red version. The black version is for the men, the red version is for the women. And as you can see it right here, you see it right here? We are reading the red version. I'm glad you guys are here. You got me on the candles, Kim? Oh, Kim. I like anything, but you got to deliver them, Kim. You can't be mailing me stuff. You got to bring it to me. No, you can't just tell me you're going to get me candles and have them mailed over. That's so impersonal, Kim. You have to deliver them. You have to come to the house, Kim, and bring them to me. I like a nice masculine scent. I like all scented candles. You know, I like all you know, candles. Like, I can switch it up. Like, I can go to like the fruit flavors, to the rosy type, you know, scents. But I really like the masculine scents. Not a musk. You know, I ain't trying to have the house smell like Old Spice. But, you know, and I don't want to necessarily smell like the woods either. You know, I don't need that my house smelling like we went camping and shit. But a nice masculine scent is really good. You know what? I don't know what to call it. To be honest with you, I'm thinking in my head right now, but I don't know what to say. All I know is what I like when I smell it. You know, I don't want it to be too feminine. Like, if you burn it, you'd be like, oh, well, what woman is here? No, I don't like that, because my house is a bachelor pad. It's a guy. My house is a guy's house, so I want it to smell like a guy. You know, but it needs to be nice where it wouldn't run a woman off. You know, not that I'm having company these days. Nevertheless, that's what I like. I appreciate you guys being here, and we are going to go ahead and knock out our very last chapter of the Book of Obsidian, the ladies edition. We're on chapter 27, Whistling Past the Graveyards, the very last chapter of this fantastic book written by Mumia Obsidian Ali, a friend of mine, a partner of mine. Well, we work together, we're friends, we're associates, and he's an author, best-selling author. And this is his second iteration of his mating and dating book. He is a dating coach, and a fantastic one if you go by the words that's written in his books. He has given women in this book a hard reality, some harsh truth. He did not pull any punches. And a lot of women is not going to like what they read in this book, but every woman needs to read what's in this book. And I'm glad you guys were here with me. Please, if you don't have a physical copy of the book, run to the description of this video. Click the link right there to take you straight to Amazon. You can grab yourself a copy, and he'll mail it right out, or Amazon will mail it right out to you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I want to knock this out because I'm super excited for all the things I have coming this week. And I did a lot today. We did a lot of cleaning in the house, and then I did a lot of preparation for the YouTube channel. A lot of preparation for the YouTube channel was done, and I'm excited to get started. So I want to go ahead and knock this out. This is the last chapter of the book that we're reading, and then we're going to move on to the next book tomorrow morning. We're moving on to the next book tomorrow morning. It's about stoicism, how to be a stoic. It's about how to be a stoic. The description is on my channel. You can see it already up there in the upcoming live shows section at the very top. Anyways, let's move forward. Let's switch over to our read screen, and let's go ahead and knock out the last chapter of the Book of Obsidian, the ladies edition, chapter 27, Whistling Past the graveyard. Do you have a hospice care plan, ladies? Do you have a hospice care plan, ladies? Mumia Obsidian Ali is asking, do you have a hospice care plan, ladies? Do you have a place? Do you have an old folks home prepared for you when the time comes? With Black America's new normal settling in, the first wave of the coronavirus pandemic continues, it's a perfect time to have the following discussion. Unlike other Black love experts, mine is a ruthlessly pragmatic approach to matters of the heart and, most importantly, to life itself. This tough love method has an easy appeal when you're a dating and mating coach for the Black men. But when it comes to a Black woman, the unspoken, unwritten rule is that you have to treat them with kid gloves. Fuck that shit. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And so today's column will have joint utility, both for Black men, but especially for Black women of a certain age, too. It's time that someone stood up and unabashedly told the truth, straight, no chaser. Black women, especially Black women over age 35, have been the core constituency in the consumer base of what I call the Black love machine, and which I discuss in greater detail in my upcoming book, the Book of Obsidian, for more than a generation. By my numbers, Black women have spent in excess of 100 billion with a B, 100 billion US dollars over roughly the past 40 years on books and seminars and matchmakers and personalities and films and music and self-love ambassadors and everything else in between, all in service of largely a fantasy that many borderline clinically delusional Black women want so desperately to believe, that an incredibly handsome, accomplished, superhumanly skilled lover also can be a good friend, husband, mate, and a daddy too. The problem is, of course, that such things rarely, if ever, happen in real life, and certainly hasn't happened for the vast majority of Black women over 35. Black women have tried everything from the Black church to Oprah Winfrey to Steve Harvey to Hill Harper, or to Tony Gaskins, to Trent Shelton, to Derek Jackson, to Stephen Labussiere and Ace Metaphor. They've tried femininity influencers who seem to be growing exponentially like weeds in a garden on social media. They've tried swirling. They've even tried activism to varying degrees too. None of it has worked. With clamoring from my erstwhile peers and interlocutors on the dating and mating coaching for Black men online that me and those like me need to move on, having taken place in the recent weeks, I thought to take their unsolicited and disingenuous advice and focus it on those whom it most applies: Black women over age 35. And I agree, it is indeed time to move on. I simply want to aim it at the ladies. And ladies, look, you've tried everything and none of it has worked. Certainly not for enough of you to matter. It aligns perfectly with the constant drumbeat of data, research, and statistics on your well-being, or the profound lack thereof. As the late Aaliyah so famously sang, we need a resolution. And that resolution, that is to say, what I will say today, will not be pretty. I am not here to uplift you, not to help you improve. And I'm certainly not here to give you any sense of hope. We're past all that. You're too old for such flights of fancy. Now is the time for clear-eyed thinking, for seeing things in yourself for who and what they are, and for coming up with practical solutions for real-world problems that you can and will continue to occur in real time. My position is very simple, ladies. You've been there and done that, and it hasn't worked. You're too old, and we're past all that now. It's time to consider other things in your life. And if Mr. Right happens to come along, all well and good. But we both know that the chances of that happening dwindle with every passing year. What is the plan for the rest of your life? Do you have a hospice care plan? In short, ladies, it's time to grow up, and the old man is here to help. Age matters, whether you like it or not, especially for Black women. One thing that I've noticed in many years of being a fly on the wall in all the various Black love events and affairs is the conceit that all parties involved are forever young. That is an outgrowth of the irrational focus on the young in Black America. And so, Black love approaches dating and mating matters in such a way that realities such as age and aging are completely eluded. This is particularly true when it comes to Black women who, again, are the Black love business's biggest consumer base. Black women well into their 70s and beyond honestly think that their prospects out on the open mating market is just as good as their granddaughters. I mean, what the fuck? Now, of course, this is pure, straight up denial and craven profiteering on part of both the Black female consumer base of the Black love machine and those who peddle the hope of a brighter tomorrow with the man, these ladies' dreams, and to a certain degree, you can't begrudge either. But that's the key word here, to a certain degree. Hey, Purple. As everyone in Black America and out knows, when it comes to Black folk in general and Black women, especially older ones, and in particular, everything they say or do just has to be extra. There is nothing inherently wrong with indulging in a fantasy, nor is there nothing inherently wrong with those who work in one way or another in the fantasy business. Hollywood, the porn industry, video games are all examples of this fantasy industry that we all have partaken of its delights. Fantasy has its place in the human condition and can be a healthy thing for people, fair enough. But and studies have shown us with the porn industry, for example, any fantasy taken to extremes can be deeply unhealthy. And that's the major problem with the Black love machine. And by extension, it's older Black women consumers who are themselves consumed by the content they buy and support. It distorts their reality and their sense of what is possible and achievable in the real world. Not the world of Mr. Make-Believe with 20-something inch biceps. I can hear the objections, deflections, and excuse making now. But Obsidian, Black men do it too. Look at all the Instagram models these guys are after. Please read the above paragraph. Anything taken to excess is not healthy. So yes, you would be technically right, and you would also be deliberately missing the point of today's chapter. For every Black man you can point to me who is delusional about his chances with an Instagram model, I can show and prove by a huge freaking margin, using Instagram itself, the millions of Black women who are downright delusional by a factor of at least 10 as to their chances with the Black love machine's top heartthrobs. We can start with Derek Jackson's alone, which last time I checked had somewhere over 1 million followers, the vast majority of whom are Black women over age 35. And like I said, that's just for starters. How about Steve Harvey's book, which sat on the New York Times bestseller list for over a year? There are many, many other examples. So let's cut the crap, ladies. Dating and mating for older folk is simply not the same as it is for younger people, period. And yeah, I'm going to say it. Dating and mating for older Black women simply ain't the same as it is for younger Black women. And nothing good can come from the idea that pretending like this reality doesn't exist. Flaking, ghosting, being a bitch, all that is for younger, relatively attractive Black women. Older black women, even if above average attractive for their age, like if you're an older black woman and you look better than the average older black woman, simply will not and cannot get the same bang for the buck doing those things that younger black women do. Being difficult to get along with, being demanding, attempting to hand out ultimatums as if they were Skittles, all that will not work. What the Black love machine has done is foster the idea and belief that older black women bring just as much, if not more, to the table than their daughters or granddaughters do. When in truth, and again, all of the data bears this out, nothing could be further from the truth. Instead of guys like Derek Jackson and Steve Harvey being blunt force explicit with the ladies about the need to ditch and bitch and being sweeter than with time, they reinforce these delusional broads resting bitch faces as if they need help deepening their crow's feet and laughing lines. Please. The longer the Black love machine continues to enable older black women's delusions about the reality out on today's Black American mating market, the more said old black women will be in pain and will be a pain in everybody's ass. Somebody's got to stop the insanity. It might as well be me. Ladies over 35. Ladies over 35 in Black America, this is the harsh truth. You simply do not have the same sheer sexual marketplace power that you had in your youth. Of course, we're talking in broad generalities, and there's a lot of moving parts when we bring it down to the individual, but stop trying to be obtuse. You know what I'm saying is true in the main. A big part of life is acceptance, and it's way past due that you got to taste. What you may no longer possess in terms of sheer hotness, you can more than make up in sweetness, cooperation, and support. Being a sister who's way past her prime and a disagreeable, combative bitch though, simply ain't gonna get nothing for you but alone. In any event, and all that aside, the bigger the point here is that all that at this juncture, when you're solidly in your middle-aged years, you really do not need to put such girlish pretensions and delusions aside. Dating and mating in this phase of your life will be much more pragmatic, practical, and straightforward. Black men, especially those like me, will have little time or interest in playing the kinds of games your younger self a quarter of a century ago did that was necessary to get under your petticoats. What up, Terradone? What up? We have way too much to do, and to be brutally frank, more than enough resources to appeal to the chippies your daughter's age to have to put up with any of it. Flake once, it's over, older ladies. Catch an attitude one time, you're done, older ladies. Try to come up with the, oh, I don't do that line in the bedroom. Out you go, older ladies. And this is assuming that, again, you're above average attractive for a woman your age. Simply put, older men just like me ain't having it. The sooner you learn this, the better off you'll be. And that's just for starters. What was once your sole dominion is no longer. You might have to run the table back in your day, but we got next now. We got next now. And by now, you must have noticed that no one is chasing you down, trying to get you to reconsider once you stamp off in a huff either. Since none of my peers have the balls to tell you, ladies, I will. It's our way or the highway. Your choice. Welcome to dating as an older Black woman. Now, I know that many Black women, being the disagreeable old battle axes they are, would rather die and go to Hades twice before capitulating to any demands by non-select Black men, right? And that's completely okay. It's a free country after all, and that goes even for disagreeable battle axes. The problem is, though, if you're going to hold the line on being a bitch, that you also will have to have a plan as to how to order the rest of your life. You honestly don't think that smart guys like me are just going to be cool with you using our tax money to pay for your disagreeable, combative fat asses, do you? No. You're going to have to hazard out all the details of your personal security and protection, your health care, because Obamacare ain't nearly as sweet as you think, and your housing needs as you age into your golden girls years all alone. And getting older in America, especially if you're female, is quite an expensive proposition. Don't bother with the feeble clapbacks. We already know you don't have the money, and the select fuckboys over there can't be bothered to pay attention to your desperate pleas in your 11th hour of need. Most of you have kids, very few whom are in a position to help you either. That's if they can stand you to begin with for more than an hour. No, we're past all that. We're past the arguing, bickering, and fussing, past all the well, see what had happened stuff, past the latest flavor of the month method or gimmick that will help you get the bag, quote unquote, get Brad, quote unquote, get self-love, quote unquote, or just get something. We are past all that. Life marches on, and at your age, ladies, life is really starting to happen now. We're talking major health concerns requiring major hospital bills. We're talking major financial issues that may or may not involve bankruptcy. We're talking about the very real possibility of you needing to help a failure to launch kid of yours and or slowly dying parent. And we're talking about who is going to do what in your final years of decline. We're talking end of life hospice care, final expenses, settling the affairs of your estate. In other words, the stuff of life, as Charles Murray put it in his excellent work, Coming Apart. Your temperament, your recklessness and obstinacy, and now being set in your ways, all have a very expensive price tag that not only compounds with interest over time, but at some point that bill becomes due. For many of you, that time is now. Overcoming objections to the topic of today's discussion. Now, as is so often the case, anytime anyone brings up a particularly sore and sensitive point of discussion in Black American circles, the knee-jerk reaction is to shoot the messenger and pillory them with ad hominem attacks, as if that somehow alters things, right? Newsflash, they don't. But since we're here where we are, and I'm always one to play along, I'll do one more again for the benefit of my non-select guide readers. Then here are some of the most common objections, deflections, and personal attacks you are most likely to encounter should you choose to openly take my position on today's topic. By all means, please feel free to use my responses in whole or in part as your own and watch the loyal opposition squirm. Objection number one that you're going to hear from most women that you tell the truth to. Guys like you just want to see a day of reckoning for all Black women because the ones that rejected you, because of all the Black women that didn't want you. So you just want to see a day of reckoning. A grown man of nearly 60 actually said that to me recently. Believe it or not, most odd, I might add. That factoid aside, this will probably be the most common defense against my argument, and as such, it requires a kind of thoughtful, sober response it needs to put it out of its misery. Fourth, my good sir, clearly you do not know what ad hominem means. It's Latin for against the man. Ad hominem, against the man. What's up, Otha? What up, bro? And is an illogical fallacy, because instead of attacking the merits of one's claim, You attack the person making the claim. That's what an ad hominem is, which is against the man, right? It is nonsensical and indicative of an emotive personality drenched in sophistry. Your logic, to the extent that any exists, is flawed. What I or others like me do or don't want to see, have been through, or experienced is completely irrelevant to the points I am making in this column. None of what you have said or will likely say addresses anything I've actually said. And if anything, such a highly emotive response strongly suggests that you fear that what I'm saying might be correct, and to which you have nothing meaningful to add. And so this is all about all the dignity I can pay your, whatever you want to call it, in terms of a response. Ad hominem attacks. Ignore them when you see them coming your way, people. When they attack the messenger and not the message, dodge it like Neo in the Matrix. Number 2 objection that you'll hear from typically black women when you tell them the truth. Black women do address those things, just not publicly. They do it privately. It ain't for you to see. They're not like this on the internet. I mean, in real life, they're only like this on the internet. Wait, so let me get this one straight. Black women who have bellowed from every mountaintop and every hamlet of the realm about how strong and independent and don't need no man they are, about how accomplished and educated they are, about how they post everything on social media, about the most intimate details of their personal lives, to what they had for dinner, to what they had for dinner last night, who grew up on Oprah, who made her billions by discussing the personal. Now, all of a sudden, want to be the standard bearers of propriety in the face of such simple questions, asking them about what the plan will be for the final act of their lives? Are you kidding me? No, the real reason you ladies don't want to talk about it publicly is because I caught you flat-footed. You have no plan and you know it. And even now, in the face of your mortality looming, your pride gets in the way of admitting something even Stevie Wonder can see is true. But carry on. I hear denial is much more than a river in Egypt. A number 3 objection that you'll hear from black women when you let them know the truth about what's going to happen to them if they don't get their shit together. You say that black women suffer from delusion chick syndrome, so why would you want them to be sober now? Now we're getting to the good part. Well, the simple answer is life. That's why life is happening, ladies. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, life is happening, and it only goes downhill from here. One would like to think that if nothing else, simple self-preservation would roost older black women out of their delusions and complacency, but it's entirely possible that black female fuckery will remain undefeated among black women. Time will tell. Objection number 4. What about black men, though? This is what you'll hear black women tell you when you tell them about themselves. Older black women. Well, what about black men, though? They're not doing so well themselves. Maybe you should address that before saying anything to black women. I hear that one a lot. What about black men? While today's chapter is written for them, or at least a non-select contingent of them, it's not written about them. All the words in this song is going to be about you, ladies, your favorite subject. Happy now? Oh, and stop trying to change the subject. A 5th objection that you'll hear when you tell black women about what's coming and you tell them the truth. Why do you care? That's what they'll tell you. Why do you care? What's it matter to you? How is it affecting you personally, your daily life? You see, boys, when your interlocutors start running out of steam, the objections start getting weaker and more desperate. So let's wind this section up with a very simple answer. Because I don't want to pay for these heifers. None of them, black women, vote for the Democrat Party to the tune of 95% because they know that they are the party of big daddy government, of the welfare state and the nanny state. Black women look to the government most to handle the stuff of life for them that should be handled within the family, starting with the husband. Black women believe that they can do an end run around having to deal with a non-select guy by getting his resources indirectly by the power of the state at the point of a gun by way of taxes, while at the same time being able to have their fun with the select fuckboys over there. They thought wrong. Black men today, modern black men, 2022 version of black men, support the GOP at double the rate they did only 4 years ago. And please do not fool yourself as to the reasons why. There are literally millions of black men like me, and if you're a non-select guy like you, and we've decided to settle a lot of these matters at the ballot box. We won with less than 15% the last time around. What do you think will happen when the black male vote for the Republican is 25% or greater? To ask the question is to answer it. And black women, you're running scared. Black women have every right to order their lives in any way that they wish. You do. It's America. Including as to which men you want to suck and fuck. We, the non-select guys, just don't want to pay for it anymore. And we won't. Any questions? So here is the Black Love's 5 stages of grief. Black Love, 5 stages of grief. As the coronavirus plague barrels on through the black American population, and keep in mind that we're only at the end of the beginning, black men and women alike will have to come to grips with the putting loved ones to rest. One of the silent deaths will be that of the black family, which is an outgrowth of the black relationship, the black marriage, black love itself. One of the reasons why so much of what I say is so very provocative for people is because many black Americans know that deep down, they know what I'm saying is true. But it's very hard for us to publicly, consciously come to grips with all of that and the reasons why it's aptly summed up in the late Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's excellent 5 stages of grief framework. The first stage is denial. And that's where many black women, especially older ones, and the not insignificant number of black men are with the death of black love and all that's connected to it. This means that many black Americans are now, at this late date, beginning to deal with the first stage of grief. It may well be years before they get to the final stage of grief, which is acceptance, where I arrived long time ago. I accept that, for the most part, and in the main, black love and all that it's connected to, family and community and so on, is dead. Sure, there will be still examples here and there of black love. There will still be families of old and there will still be the kind of unions that Alicia Keys, she sang about, but they will become fewer and farther between. So much so that black folk will be clamoring for more films and TV shows and red table talk, social media that harkens to a romanticized vision of what we'd like to believe. Black love was and will never likely be. The forces that are at work in deeply and irrevocably changing black America have been at work for decades and are coming from all directions, none of which are reversible. And that, my friends, is the end of the Book of Obsidian, the ladies' edition. That's a lot. I should read the afterword, huh? I'm going to read the afterword. I want you guys to listen to this. It's only 2 pages. It's only 1 page. It's only a page and a half. And he wrote this February 22nd of this year. So he wrote this just this past February. This is Obsidian saying, I have written this book in the hope that it will not generate change so much as it will get the lovely ladies thinking. It will get the ladies thinking. Obsidian wrote this book not to change, but to get women to thinking. First, about what they've been doing, who they've been listening to, and whether it's gotten them the results that they desire. Second, to consider listening to black men more, rather than giving undue attention to, yes, men, sycophants, and single women who keep other women single. And thirdly, to get the ladies to seriously consider doing something different. Finally, do something different, radically, markedly different, if they want a different result in their love lives. This book that we just finished, that we just read over this past month, comes at a very interesting time in Black American life. In the midst of a still ongoing global pandemic, the irrevocable changes it has brought in its wake, and how we will or will not relate to each other in the times ahead. Domestic violence, divorce, and relationship breakups have all been well documented during the past few years of the Rona, with seemingly no end in sight. Tough times call for tough measures, and one of them is the book you just read with Shannon. There will still be those among you, ladies, that will, among you, lovely ladies, out there who will say stuff like, well, what about black men, right? Why don't you focus on them? I hear that. Shannon, I hear that so much. And my answer to that is, in fact, my sidebar, my Instagram post just this morning. My Instagram post just today was, what about the men? Because I was talking about women who don't help their man clean up, but they're living at his house, rent free, bills free, because he's paying all the bills, but she won't even vacuum the floor. I got pushback on that. And then they flipped it around and asked, what about the men? Anyways. So there will still be some ladies out there that's going to, even though reading this book, they're going to say stuff like, well, what about the black men? Why don't you focus on them? And my answer to that is simple. I already have. And Shannon currently is. By the time you have read this book, I will have 2 truly life-changing live events for black men under my belt, specifically designed to rebuild the black man from the ground up, so to speak. A third such event is the biggest we've done to date and is slated for the fall of 2022 in Houston. Our plan is to take our little plan nationwide. We're actually doing it in North Carolina in 2023 during the weekend of Juneteenth. Believe it or not, the black manosphere, though an imperfect instrument it may be, is doing the very real work needed for black men to reassess and improve. It's been coming in fits and starts, with quite a bit of the rambunctiousness to be expected in black American cultural circles. Boys will be boys, after all, but we've punched ourselves out. We usually settle down and get back to work. The burning question is whether their counterparts, the women, today's black women, the lovely ladies who have been the focus of this particular book, will follow suit. In the past year alone, at least 4 high-profile black lady life and dating coaches have thrown in the towel and sent up the white flag because they found too many of you black women to be difficult to work with. Even if we in the black manosphere are successful with our mission of getting the brothers' acts together, it won't do much good if you ladies haven't followed suit. What is the sound of one hand clapping, right? It doesn't make a sound. And do to my very pressing schedule these days, there was quite a bit of material that didn't make it into this book. In order to meet the deadline, I have to cut short my plans to add more relevant chapters. But that's just as well. I see this book, and I hope that you will too, as more an introduction rather than a complete work in itself. Depending on how things go, there will be a follow-up volume picking up where this one left off. We will see. Finally, I want it to be known that I wrote this book both as a direct result of popular demand on the part of the lovely lady listeners of my daily show, but also because I love Black women. It remains to be seen if all of you love yourselves enough to do what's required to find it in your own lives. Signed, Mumia Obsidian Ali, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, United States, February 22nd, 2022. And we are done. Shout out to Obsidian, knocking out another book. Take this to the end. Shout out to Obsidian. All right, guys, and we are done. What up, Sheed? What's happening, Sheed? Ladies and gentlemen, we're done. Knocked out another book for the year. We are moving on to how to be a stoic. Stoicism. It's going to be a quick read. I think it's only 8 chapters in it. No, I don't remember. No, 14 chapters. That book has only 14 chapters. We're going to knock that out starting tomorrow morning. So I want you guys to please subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell so you get notified when my lives go. I always do a countdown, right? But you got to get notified that I'm even doing a live. So hit the bell after you subscribe. Please share this video. Let YouTube know. Let your friends know this is worth watching. Hit the like button on this video. Let YouTube know that it's worth showing other people. I appreciate you. Remember, reading is the best way to expand your mind and your bank account. I appreciate you guys. Tune in next time to the next chapter of Rich People Read, which is tomorrow at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And you, my friends, are dismissed.
Yeah. Escucha. Mío en tu habitación, solo los 2 segundos que hay que detener. Porque si no siento tu voz o tu olor, te extraño y te quiero ver. Tanto me falta. Todas esas noches tan soñadas. Que me levantes a mirada. Tú tienes pinta de indicada. Me haces falta, bebé. Dime qué tengo que hacer pa' tenerte de una vez, pa' no poderte perder. Dulce, eres mi bombón. Te quiero melocotón. Por ti corro un maratón. Solo de la dirección. Tú y yo, queriendo más amor. Pa' mí no es suficiente. Yo quiero tu calor. Tú y yo, con esa conexión. Somos lo que la gente no ha visto de los dos. Tanto me falta. Todas esas noches tan soñadas. Que me levantes a mirada. Tú tienes pinta de indicada. Mira, somos perfectos. Es algo indiscutible. Mi estilo y tu estilo no están disponibles. Solo soy sensible cuando te tengo porque eres irresistible. Tus labios combinan con tus ojos. Porque eres tan pretty que hasta yo de eso miento. Chica, necesito mis anteojos. Quiero verte en noche hermosa de todos modos. Tú y yo, queriendo más amor. A mí no es suficiente. Yo quiero tu calor. Tú y yo, con esa conexión. Somos lo que la gente no ha visto tienes pinta de indicada.